10 times out of 10 I'm right. With this pen I write the thoughts of a genius, verified that I'm nice. My quotables are quotable, just ask me the price. Legend in 2 games, Steve Stout on the mic. I stand on my square, whatever circle I'm in. Circle the block before I step in the spot in this world of sin. Ain't here to be a victim, a villain. I'm here for business, sipping light beer like Mans Warner and pure denim.
Shook, got them spinning they boots. It get crazy when I get in the mood. Don't talk to me, dog, until you finish your food. Hope your image approved. Never been in it to lose. Before we finish them, we hit them with the signature move.
Go, go, make them go, go, play, make you fall. Go, go. No one playing with you. Before we finish him, we hit him with the signature move. Ladies, gentlemen, peace, 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 man. Peace to everybody out there for tuning in. Welcome to the Signature Move podcast with A.O. Baker. My name, of course, is A.O. I believe this is episode number 12 of the Signature Move right here on the Ringside Club podcast channel. For starters, before we get really super deep into the show, I want to remind everybody you can check out theringsideclub.com for everything that we do. All of the podcasts, like the flagship podcast that we drop every Thursday, the Signature Move podcast that's usually dropping every Monday, but this is a special edition, specifically since I didn't do an episode this week, this past Monday. But all of the episodes are going to be right there. All of the blog posts, like all of the law takes by my man Chad Law. He's breaking down every show that drops during the week, so you make sure you read up on those. But everything you need to know right there at theringsideclub.com. Plus, we're across all social platforms. Make sure you follow us. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, X, everywhere, and in all of the podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, where you can catch that Ringside Club podcast channel, Spotify, and all the other podcast platforms, plus the video, of course, on demand on YouTube. But all that being said, once again, my name is A.O. Baker. This is the Signature Move podcast. And if you can't tell, because of the shirt that I'm wearing, this Austin 316 shirt, today is 316 Day, man. And I went out in the spirit of 316 Day and got a couple of these. That brand new Broken Skull 316 IPA. Haven't tried any of these yet. Comes in a pack of 4, so I see there's no better time than the present to crack my first 316 IPA. I'm going to take a swig of that. Swig of beer for the working man. Yes, sir. That is a tasty beverage. So, yeah, man, happy 316. Oh, that's legit pretty good. I think I like this one better than the other IPA. So there's like the regular Broken Skull IPA. Now there's the 316 IPA. I've had the lager. The lager's pretty good too. This is pretty good. This is worth a second swig real quick. Hold on. Cheers to you and yours. So with that being said, once again, happy 316 Day to everybody. Tournament 316 is the name of the title, right? This is the tournament episode of the Signature Move, and that's because there's 3 tournaments going on across the world of professional wrestling that are worth chopping it up and talking about. We have the Ring of Honor Women's TV Title Tournament. We have the New Japan Cup. And then we have the newest tournament of the 3, which is the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament. Of course, since Sting and Darby Allin vacated the titles, those titles are vacant, completely vacant. So now we have to crown some new champs. So let's get into in the order I'm doing this, and this is under the assumption that Ring of Honor is deciding is holding the finals on April 5th at their next pay-per-view, which will be Supercard of Honor, Mania weekend. By the way, the Ringside Club will be in Philly, so tap in. So I'm going to go in order of when I think the finals actually take place. I believe, if I didn't hear them actually say this, I believe the finals are going to be a Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, April 5th. Sakura Genesis, which the winner of the New Japan Cup goes on to face the current champ, IWGP champ Tetsuya Naito. That's on April 6th. And then AEW Dynasty, that's where the tag champ tournament final is going to take place. That's their newest pay-per-view, by the way. That's on April 21st. So I'm breaking down these brackets and the latest as of this recording in that order. So let's get right into it. Let's bring up the Ring of Honor Women's World TV Championship Tournament. We're down to the Final Four this past Thursday. We figured out who the Final Four. I think Mercedes Martinez beat Abaddon, and I believe Billy Starks. I believe she beat Diamante this past Thursday. But I know for sure I saw Mercedes Martinez and Abaddon take each other on. So the Final Four right now, we have Billy Starks. She'll be taking on Mercedes Martinez. And then Red Velvet will be taking on Queen Aminata. And then we have the finals. So from the beginning of the tournament, it seems as though like this was a tournament that's been made for Billy Starks. She came off the back of a really great back and forth match with Athena at their last pay-per-view. And even though she took the loss, she took the L, she had a great showing, and really brought that mean streak, that entire program, coming up under Athena, following her around, being her minion in training throughout a lot of last year, a lot of 2023, and leading up to finally, taking her on, and really Athena bringing out that mean streak that Billy Starks needs to take her career to the next level. Since then, and since taking that L, Billy Starks, it seems, has been, kind of taking the next step up. And it seems as though this TV championship tournament was hers to win. So I have her going to the finals, right? I think Billy Starks beats Mercedes Martinez. And on the other side, Queen Aminata and Red Velvet should be a fire match. And I think Queen Aminata takes it. The thing about Queen Aminata, we've seen a lot of people that don't watch Ring of Honor, don't watch Honor Club, and only watch what's happening on Dynamite and Rampage and Collision. You know that Queen Aminata has really only had one victory thus far in her AEW career. But in reality, she's been undefeated for quite some time on Ring of Honor television, and she finally got her first win when she beat Anna Jay on, I believe that was a Rampage a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago. She's hot right now. She's hot. A lot of people have gotten a chance to see her wrestle and have become new fans of Queen Aminata. She has like the total package. In ring, she's one of the best strikers. She actually really, really gets busy and lays all her shit in. And the personality and the persona, all of that's coming together. We saw an amazing little interview that Renee Paquette had with her. I think it was about 20 minutes, and she was telling the story of, losing her father and discovering that he really was like a fan of hers. She didn't think that he was aware that she was a wrestler, and then after he passed away, seeing that he had links and pictures to her matches, and was kind of collecting memorabilia on his phone. Like a hell of a story, great persona, great in the ring. She's going to the finals as well. So we're going to have Queen Aminata, I believe, against Billy Starks in the finals. I'd like to see Queen Aminata take it. I think Aminata might be a little bit better than Billy Starks. They're both pretty young in their careers. But Aminata just is a heavy hitter. When she's in that ring, whether it be the forearm strikes, the headbutt, the hip attack, followed up by the boot in the corner, like top to bottom, she's been finishing people off with a headbutt, as a finishing move, just a straight headbutt. She brings a bit more of a crispness to her matches, I think, than Billy Starks does. But don't count Billy Starks out. I think as far as experience goes, Starks might have the advantage in the experience department, and she's been getting busy as it is. But you have the Final Four, and once again, Aminata, I think she beats Red Velvet, and I think Billy Starks beats Mercedes Martinez. And again, I think this is going to take place on April 5th at Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. Moving right along, the New Japan Cup. The New Japan Cup. There's a lot. I think I need a swig of this 316 IPA before I jump into the New Japan Cup, because buddy. My bracket was wrong from the very beginning, from the get-go. I don't have my bracket loaded up, but right now the final, what do we have here? The final 6. We have Sonata and Hiroki Goto. And then we still have Evil, Shingo Takagi, Yota Tsuji, and Ren Narita. Ren is taking on Tsuji. Evil's taking on Shingo. And obviously Sonata and Goto. Now, this was breaking news earlier today. Hiroki Goto was supposed to take on David Finlay. And David Finlay, it was reported, had to be taken to a hospital. I don't believe they actually disclosed what the problem was or what the issue was or what the reason that he had to be taken to the hospital. But Goto advanced via forfeit because Finlay couldn't actually compete. And Sonata beat Jack Perry earlier today. I had Shota Umino going to the finals, and I had Zack Sabre Jr. going to the finals. And both of those gentlemen lost in their very first match in the New Japan Cup. Sabre Jr. had a bye. So it came down to Taichi versus Ren Narita, which Ren won for a bit of a Wrestle Kingdom, last year's Wrestle Kingdom, a bit of a rematch, so to speak, between Ren Narita and Zack Sabre Jr., and that was scheduled to take place. And that was a really, really dope match. But the difference is now Ren Narita is part of the House of Torture, right? So this, I think, has been probably Narita's best showing since joining the House of Torture because, like obviously up until the end of the match, because it brought out a bit more of the Narita where they're calling him the son of strong style. It brought that out a bit more. It seems like he's just been relying on the House of Torture. So he had a nice back and forth with Sabre, but again, it came down to House of Torture, interference, costing Zack Sabre Jr. the match. He got hit with that push-up bar, and he moved on. So Yota Tsuji and Ren Narita are two of the four, like the future and the pillars that it seems like New Japan is hanging a lot of weight on, with the other two being Yuya Uemura and the guy that I picked to go to the finals, Shota Umino. I picked Sabre to win it. But I picked Umino to be the guy that Sabre would have beaten. But he was eliminated first round, beaten by Jack Perry. And Tsuji is still here. So we're going to have Tsuji and Ren Narita. That should be a good match. I have Tsuji going forward. Shingo Takagi versus Evil. I think I'd go with Shingo. So then we go down, we would probably get down to a final four of Sonata versus Goto, which I have Sonata winning, and then Tsuji versus Shingo. So Sonata versus Tsuji in the finals. It'd be a nice change of pace to have Tsuji be the one to win, because if Sonata wins, then all that means is another Sonata versus Naito match, which I'm not really looking forward to seeing. I really didn't like the last match. The Wrestle Kingdom match was cool, but the last match that they had, which I believe was at New Beginning, just didn't really care for it. Plus, Tsuji being a part of Los Ingobernables and letting the world know that he, and letting Naito know in the ring, I'm coming after you. That's a nice little story right there. So that'll take place at Sakura Genesis, the finals. So the winner of the New Japan Cup goes on to take on Tetsuya Naito, and that would be April 6th at New Japan Sakura Genesis. And finally, we have the newest, like I mentioned, the newest tournament, Swig of Beer for the working man. The AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament, where the finals are going to take place at AEW Dynasty, their newest pay-per-view, on April 21st. So they just announced the brackets last night on Rampage. And it's been a lot of conversation, but first here are the brackets. We have first round matches of the Young Bucks versus Private Party, which is pretty cool because Private Party beat the Young Bucks, 2 or 3 years ago in a tag team championship tournament. That was an upset victory, obviously. So that'd be cool. Private Party versus Young Bucks. We have the Undisputed Kingdom taking on the winner of a match between the Best Friends and the Don Callis family, which is represented by Kyle Fletcher and Powerhouse Hobbs. Right? So they're calling that a wild card. Best Friends versus the Don Callis family, Hobbs and Fletcher. The winner of that match goes on to take on the Undisputed Kingdom, which is represented by Orange Cassidy and the Undisputed Kingdom, pardon. So the winner of that match, Best Friends, Don Callis family, Fletcher and Hobbs, they go on to take on the Undisputed Kingdom, right? So The interesting thing is those are the current Ring of Honor tag champs. They've been announced for this tournament, but still there is no announcement for what they're going to be doing at Ring of Honor at the pay-per-view at Supercard of Honor. But whatever. On the other side, the other wild card match, the winner of the wild card match goes on to take on FTR. So it'll be the Infantry, which is tonight, or this is already passed by the time you're listening to this. Infantry takes on the House of Black, represented by Brody King and Buddy Matthews. Buddy Murphy and Buddy. Let's say Brody and Buddy. And then we have Ricky Starks and Big Bill, the former tag team champs, the guys that Sting and Darby beat to win the titles in the first place. They take on Top Flight. Now, the first thing that jumped out to me and a lot of people wasn't who's been announced for this tournament. It was who wasn't announced for this tournament. And the biggest omission, the most glaring omission, is where's the Blackpool Combat Club? Where is Mox? Where are Mox and Claudio? You know, they had the match against FTR, which they won at Revolution. And FTR is in the tournament. The Blackpool Combat Club were talked about on commentary as being the team to beat, almost the uncrowned tag team champions as far as AEW goes, but they're not in the tag team championship tournament. It's a bit of a head scratcher, but whatever. There are a couple other teams that I saw people wondering where they were, but there's none more glaring than the Blackpool Combat Club, but it is what it is. I would assume that they'll pop up at some point and challenge maybe the winners of this, or I don't know. No crystal ball here. I just don't know why they're not a part of the tag team tournament. But here we go. My predictions here, while I think it would be great, look, if I was booking this, it'd be cool to see Private Party and Top Flight in the finals, because they've been developing a nice rivalry between those two teams, a really, really nice rivalry, trading wins back and forth across a couple of shows on TV. And I think that's the future of the tag division. It really would be dope if that was the present of the tag division. Let's highlight a couple of guys. Fresh matchup as far as having stakes and having titles on the line. That'd be dope. I think both teams are future tag team champions, but it'd be dope if this tournament was, you know, either of those teams' first real opportunity to wear those tag team championships. But with that being said, on the left side, I believe the Young Bucks not only beat Private Party, but I think they go to the finals. I think they go to the finals because they're doing some of the best work of the last couple of years, and pretty much since they've been in AEW for quite some time. They're reformed the Elite with Okada, and we know that Okada has a date really this week. The next Dynamite, he's probably going to beat Eddie Kingston for the Continental Championship. So I think that there's going to be a scene that by the time we get to AEW Dynasty, they're going to have 3 titles, right? Three actual championship belts, but 2 champions, 1 tag team champion and 1 Continental champion within that group. So I think the Young Bucks beat Private Party. As far as the Undisputed Kingdom and the wild card, Best Friends probably beat the Don Callis family. I would have liked to have seen Powerhouse Hobbs and Takeshita together instead of Fletcher and Hobbs. But, either way, I think the Don Callis family takes the L to the Best Friends. There's been tension within the Best Friends as it relates to Trent and Orange Cassidy. Maybe that manifests itself and actually comes to fruition. You know, what a lot of people have been predicting, that Trent turns on Orange Cassidy at some point. Maybe that happens during this tournament. But I have the Best Friends beating the Don Callis family, going to take on the Undisputed Kingdom, and the Best Friends will beat the Undisputed Kingdom, which what the hell does that say for your Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, where they were beaten by Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe, but really just Swerve Strickland, and they will be beat by the Best Friends. Yeah. So that would take the Young Bucks into a match with the Best Friends. And again, I think the Young Bucks are going to win the entire tournament, which means the Bucks will beat the Best Friends. Now, over on the right side, Ricky Starks and Big Bill, they're going to take on the winner of FTR versus the winner of the second wild card match. So let's start at the wild card match. We have the Infantry versus the House of Black. By the time you're listening to this match will have taken place. But again, it'd be really, really dope if the Infantry beat the House of Black. I'm going to go ahead and say that the House of Black probably beat the Infantry, though. We're going to get a rematch of the House of Black versus FTR. I think FTR takes that. As far as Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus Top Flight, safe money would be on Ricky Starks and Big Bill, at least having a decent showing, seeing as how they're former tag champs. Again, unless we see some sort of a breakdown between Ricky Starks and Big Bill, we haven't seen them since they lost their tag team titles. So we don't know what the status of their relationship was. And if you remember, Ricky Starks and Big Bill were never like the quintessential tag team in the first place. They don't have a name. They didn't ride up and down the roads together. They said this all on TV, by the way, so I'm not just making this shit up. Ricky Starks and Big Bill may not be on the same page. They may be on the same page, but they may not. We don't know. But Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus Top Flight, I'm going to go ahead and say that we get an upset here. And only an upset because Starks and Bill are former tag champs. I think something happens, something breaks down between Bill and Starks, and Top Flight's able to capitalize, and they move forward. With the House of Black versus FTR, I have FTR winning that, which would take us to a match between Top Flight and FTR, which again would be really, really cool if Top Flight goes to the finals. But safe money is that we get the Young Bucks versus FTR at AEW Dynasty. This match was supposed to happen I believe maybe at Revolution, maybe at the pay-per-view that they had in December. The bottom line is this match was supposed to already happen. Young Bucks versus FTR. I believe it's a rubber match, seeing as how both of them have won kind of like 1-1. So this would be the tiebreaker, and the Bucks win the whole thing. So once again, I have the Bucks over Private Party. I have the Best Friends over the Don Callis family. I have the Best Friends over the Undisputed Kingdom. I have the Young Bucks over the Best Friends. Young Bucks make it to the finals. And on the other side, House of Black beats the Infantry. FTR beats the House of Black. Top Flight beats Ricky Starks and Big Bill. Top Flight loses to FTR. The finals will be the Young Bucks versus FTR. And the Young Bucks will win the Tag Team Championships at AEW Dynasty. So with that being said, once again, happy 316 day to all of y'all. One more swig of beer before we get out of here. Yeah, man, that's a tasty beverage. This has been the Signature Move Podcast. My name is A.O. Baker. Make sure you hit the ringsideclub.com. Subscribe everywhere. Check out that Ringside Club podcast channel on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe there or subscribe on Spotify. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us everywhere across all socials. And we will catch you. I'm going to try to get back to the regular schedule for the Signature Move this Monday. And then, of course, tap in on Thursday for the Ringside Club flagship podcast. That being said, I'm out of here. Peace.